Hello and welcome to this week's module from the Anger Cure. Last week we started to look at setting some limits on our conflict and how we can start to build a safe container around the arguments and disagreements within our relationships. So this week we're going to take that one step further and we're going to start to put together some very specific rules on how we can have basically fair fighting, how we can have disagreements in a way that actually starts to move us towards problem solving. So what I've done is to put together 5 rules that really cover some of the most common mistakes couples make that keep them locked in conflict. So we'll have a quick look through those today. We've put together a worksheet with a wider group of 10 rules, including these 5 and some others, that start to give you the basis to form a contract with your partner to produce a very productive way of having disagreement, argument and conflict. So, rule number 1, define the issue and stick to it. And this is potentially one of the biggest issues you see in most couples' arguments. Is actually they start to talk about the washing up, and then it moves on to the kids, and then it moves on to something else, and then it moves on to money. And actually it becomes an argument where the goalposts are continually changing. And that means nothing ever gets resolved. And I guess what happens is as soon as you feel that you're losing the argument, you start to move it onto ground where you feel more confident. But of course this means that the argument, and thus the conflict, continues to perpetuate. And actually we're looking towards moving to resolution and problem solving. So the most important starting point is to define the issue and stick to it. Part of that also becomes in how you express yourself. So one of the things I talk about with my couples is to really own your half of an argument. So it's very easy, if we take an example like doing the washing up, simple household chores, it's very easy to start a discussion about the fact your partner hasn't done the washing up with, "You're so lazy, you haven't done this again." Blaming, blaming, blaming. What's really useful is to start owning just your side of what's going on. A really good way to use that is something called I statements. So instead of talking about you and what you've done and why you do that, you talk about I and how I feel and what I want. So for example, to turn around this washing up thing, "You're so lazy, you haven't done your chores," becomes, "I feel really unappreciated when you haven't done the washing up. I feel that you don't value me. I feel that you don't love me." See how that changes the tone of the conversation. And you start to move that towards problem solving. So how do you feel? What's the problem? And then what is it you need out of it? I need you to stick to our agreement. I need you to do the washing up when you say you will. I need you to help me out with the kids. See how that changes the whole feeling of the conversation. So the second one is choose a time and a place. So often I'm talking to clients in the therapy room about an argument that's happened the previous weekend, and it's taken place in the car, or when they're short of time, or late at night when they're drunk. And I'm kind of thinking, well, you're not really giving yourselves the space into which you can really express yourself and to be heard. So if you've got something important to talk about, choose the time and the place when you're both not under stress, you haven't got kids around your feet, you're not driving, you're not working, where you can actually focus on your partner and on the thing that you disagree about. Number 3, and this is a biggie, actually listen to your partner and what they're saying. Most of us don't do that. Most of us don't listen to hear. We listen enough to be able to speak next. We listen enough to know, okay, this is the same argument. I know how this is going to go. All I'm doing now, I'm not listening to you. I'm thinking about that killer statement I can come in to win the argument. No, don't do that. Stop, slow down, and listen to your partner. In future modules of the Anger Cure, I'm going to go through some really good listening techniques with you. But for now, just take the time to stop and listen. Number 4, don't drag up the past. Again, this can be a real killer. Just as you feel that you're getting someone, you'll get resolution, suddenly your partner goes, oh, that's all very well, but what about last November when you didn't do this and you didn't do that? Okay, the past is the past and it needs to stay there. We all know that we've made mistakes in the past, but actually to be able to move forward, there needs to be a point where you draw a line and say, okay, we know mistakes have been done, but are you doing the thing that I want you to be doing in the future, in the here and now? And number 5, and this I guess in some way goes back to last week and setting limits on our conflicts. If you feel yourself getting angry, if you feel yourself getting out of control, if you feel you need to take a break, stop. Take a time out, take 10 to 15 minutes just to allow the anger to subside, and then come back. Again, make sure your partner knows you're doing this. I wrote a really good blog recently about how to do a timeout contract so that you agree how you're going to stop, what's going to happen while you're split up, and how you're going to restart the conversation. But rather than just walking away so your partner doesn't know what's going on, you say something like, this is really important to me, but at the moment I'm feeling my anger beginning to rise. Let me just take 15 minutes so I can calm down and come and have this really important conversation with you. Okay, so there are 5 basic rules to help you have a much more productive discussion with your partner. In the worksheet I expand on that a little bit more, and we'll continue to develop this idea and others around relationship and couples issues as the Anger Cure develops. So next week we're going to do the Christmas special on how to survive the festive season with your loved ones and not go completely insane. And then at the end of the month we're going to look at some issues around parenting and dealing with anger in your children. So I'm hoping this has been a really valuable month for you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And just in case I don't see you before, have a fantastic Christmas. Bye.